Wild Joe is back in the zoo. It is inside of its crate. The Royal Joe wants to get out of this. The Wild Joe is giving another attempt to get out and go back. We have translated the Wild Joe's language into English so you can probably understand what it is saying. The Wild Joe is looking. The Wild Joe is on a flip and is trying to find a way to get out of this place. He doesn't like it. He's flipping quite a lot. The Wild Joe is trying to find any exits he can, and the zoo is now in very high authority. The zoo has very high security because they know that he once escaped and is capable of escaping again. But the zookeepers could not be any more careless, and have left an opening somewhere in the Wild Joe's cage. The Wild Joe realizes that they left his door unlocked, and the Wild Joe walks out of the cage. The Wild Joe's teammate was not spared. The Wild Joe was given a new partner, but was not spared either. His partner was killed for being very rabid. The Wild Joe is venturing off into parts of the zoo where the old food truck is. The Wild Joe. The narrator just sneezed. The narrator sneezed again. There is a zookeeper shooting at the Wild Joe. There's a zookeeper shooting at the Wild Joe because it knows that he has escaped. There's alarms going off everywhere. What is that sound? He is getting shot at with tranquilizer darts. One tranquilizer dart is not enough to hit him. The Wild Joe has eliminated the threat of the zookeeper, but now has to worry of being killed because he has killed over 5 zookeepers. The Wild Joe has found someone.
Wait, that's dummy. Does he have the... Wait, how do I have 23? Oh my god, my thing...
The Wild Joe sees... The Wild Joe has found a friend, but will not go with him on his journey of escaping the zoo. The Wild Joe tries to do something. The Wild Joe realizes that it is losing its gold, which is what keeps the Wild Joe alive. The less gold it has, the less food it the weaker it becomes. The Wild Joe is back in the small town that he was last time, the Pleasant Park. He's in the city center and it is sundown. He must find a safe place to go to sleep because there is many threats in the wild at night. The Wild Joe is struggling to open the chest.
It's not actually open.
The Wild Joe doesn't know what to do. We have lost sights on the Wild Joe because our camera has died. It's back, but now there's this weird black thing on it. It's shooting at this weird chest. It spots a zookeeper. The zookeeper was very bad and killed itself. The Wild Joe must find a house to sleep in because it is nighttime. Because at nighttime is not a good time to be out for a Wild Joe. Must find a safe home to stay in during the night. The Wild Joe is looking for a home, but it spots a zookeeper.
It really depends on the
The zookeepers are after him, and there's quite a few zookeepers trying to kill him. The Wild Joe is shooting at the zookeeper. The Wild Joe is about to successfully eliminate. The Wild Joe has successfully eliminated another zookeeper. This will make him. If they find him, they will put him back. They will make sure to kill him before he escapes. If the Wild Joe manages to kill all the zookeepers, he is free. The Wild Joe must run. The storm is following him. The very deadly storm. The Wild Joe is asking someone whether it should have taken that charge or not.
Narrator, yo, narrator, should I have taken that charge?
No, you should have not. If the Wild Joe manages to get out alive and not dead, or captured, the Wild Joe will successfully have the island of Fortnite to itself. The Wild Joe has eliminated another zookeeper, which makes it so if any other zookeepers manage to get him, they will most likely eliminate him. The Wild Joe is going and has found a little drive-in movie theater from a long, long time ago. It is shut down, but they never plowed it down. There's a lot of other kinds of beings that could be here, including these animal hunters called the Io God. He's called Io because the zoo is called the Imaginary Order Zoo. That's on the island of Fortnite, Badger. The Wild Joe spots a zookeeper, but it's new to the job. The Wild Joe kills the zookeeper. He is very proud of his accomplishments. The Wild Joe does not realize that the more he kills, the more in danger he becomes. Because the better and better the zookeepers get. The Wild Joe is mad because it found a toy that it does not like. The Wild Joe must go to the safe area of the zoo, of the storm. There was another zookeeper shooting at him, but he successfully kills it. The Wild Joe is venturing closer and closer to the deadly zone, or storm. The zookeepers call it the zone, because it can kill any zookeeper. The Wild Joe is trying to find its way to the safe zone, so it knows a little trick on how it can run faster. The Wild Joe continues to halt, and the Wild Joe may not make it to zone. We'll show you the rest when we get back to the Wild Joe after the break. Are you hungry? Do you want delicious crab? Then you should go to the Durr Burger! Welcome to the Durr Burger, the greatest restaurant known to mankind. As you can see, it is a small restaurant in between Weeping Woods and Slurpy Swamp, and is kept as clean as possible. The variety on the menu is amazing, because all we serve is burgers! What a surprise! The seats are the most comfortable place in the entire planet, and the bathrooms are amazing. There is a lot of storage to keep the food in, so it's impossible for the Durr Burger to run out of food, and your food will always come on time. See that oil? That's not acid, 100% not acid, that's just the grease. We're going back up the stairs, and if you want somewhere to eat, come on down to the Durr Burger, with cheap prices starting at $1.99 per burger. Thanks you. And please eat at the Durr Burger because it's the best, and if you don't, you're a nerd, and everyone knows it. Okay. And we're back with the Wild Joe. The Wild Joe has found a crashed ship from the original Mandalorian Wild Joe. It was literally named the Mandalorian.
Wait, this is my grandpa's shit.
Some say they still see the ghost of the Mandalorian walking around the island. And when they kill him, they get his weapon. The Wild Joe gets excited when he finds this weapon because it belonged to his grandfather. The Wild Joe is deemed too dangerous to be kept in the zoo. The Wild Joe was sent into the woods, the middle of the woods. Or at least they thought. Turns out they punched in the wrong coordinates, and there was quite a bit of houses on where the Wild Joe lives. There was a resident in this one house. A resident that works for the zoo. The Wild Joe kills the resident. The Wild Joe kills the owner of the house. But the zookeepers are not warned yet. The Wild Joe discovers that he had some great toys for him to play with. The Wild Joe is exploring the woods, and it has found a huge bridge. The exit to the woods is nearby. But will the Wild Joe leave the woods, or will he stay put? The Wild Joe will leave the woods because it is not safe from the huge storm that is coming, as well as the Wild Joe knows that he will get caught for killing that human, and they will send him to jail, and they will capture him and kill him. So he must leave and go on the run.
To make this more believable, I should get an animal skin, man.
Okay, I'll cut back to the video now. The Wild Joe is wandering and has found a desert, which is miraculously right next to the woods. The Wild Joe does not proceed into the desert because there is a little city in the desert, the Salty Towers, the city of Salty Towers. Then one of the two cities in Fortnite Battle Royale, or in the Fortnite map. The Wild Joe decides it should venture into the city of Salty Towers, and goes inside of a building. Wild Joe walks in. He hears people. He kills a zookeeper. He must kill all the zookeepers to bring justice on his species. The zookeepers love to kill Wild Joes.
Who is this?
There's many zookeepers here. He could die. The Wild Joe is very close to death, and it knows that. It must fight with its teeth and claws to get out of this sticky situation. The Wild Joe is trying to escape. He now realizes that going to the city was a huge mistake. He runs away. He's running away from the cops. I mean, the zookeepers. No cops. The Wild Joe has now caused a lot of terror in people. The cops are not involved yet because the government refuses to bring them in. They say it's not as big as a problem. They say it's not a big problem. That the Wild Joe is escaping and is trying to free all the other Wild Joes. If the Wild Joe is lucky, if the Wild Joe is lucky, it can make the Planet of the Apes movie. It can recreate the Planet of the Apes movie with the Wild Joes. The Wild Joe found a zookeeper. There's something wrong with the Wild Joe. The Wild Joe! Well, we lost sight and vision on the Wild Joe for a second, but he has managed to kill the zookeepers. Or kill one of them. There's still another zookeeper on him. The Wild Joe is fighting with his teeth and claws to get away from getting killed by the zookeepers. The Wild Joe is grinding as hard as it can. And if it's lucky, it can get away. The Wild Joe must get some kind of loot. Some kind of loot. Or some kind of healers for the Wild Joe species.
I heard a wolf howl.
He can't find any. He knows he's in trouble. His only option is to either fight or run. Joe's idea. The Wild Joe is running. The zookeepers are competing because the Wild Joe's prize is a lot of money. So he's using that as an advantage and letting the zookeepers attack so he can escape at the right moment. The Wild Joe knows about a secret trick that it can hide in the sand, but it does not use it yet. The Wild Joe is eliminated forever. The Wild Joe was killed and put to sleep. This is the end of the Wild Joe. Or is it?